Oh yeah, wow. Wouldn't it be crazy if I had a top 20 time? I can't even imagine what that would feel like. Okay. God, the volume really is incredibly loud. Oh, that's why. Because it reset itself in the mixer. I had it lowered in Windows Audio Mixer, but it brought itself back up. No, but you really are trying, and I gotta give you credit for trying, Dick. Says this is brutal as everyone says? Well, it depends on the fan game, really. If you're talking specifically about K2, then no, not really. So far, K2 has been a lot more accessible than I thought it was, honestly. Apparently, according to someone who definitely knows more than I do, K2 gets significantly more infuriating the deeper you get, but at least from how far I've gotten, it doesn't seem that bad. There you go. Okay, I want to, like, save in the right position so I can just jump up on the platform and be fine. So where am I going here? Pretty much no direction is good. Yeah, that's tough. Definitely the left side is... Oh wait, did I move there, or what happened? Definitely the left side is better, since you can... Oops, I'm moving, like, right when I respawn. You can hit yourself against that wall and be kinda safe. It feels like the timing of the platforms isn't lining up that well, though. Do they want me to... Yeah, I felt like I moved right there. Do they want me to... No, there's no way they want me to sit in, like, the tiny corners, like, up and to the left of me there. No progress after 1 hour? Well, unfortunately, you're already wrong, since I just got a checkpoint, didn't I? Unless we're not counting that as progress in today's day and age. There we go. It's not actually that bad. I forgot you can, like, platforms are a lot more forgiving in terms of how, like, far away you can be from them and still jump up them. There you go. Oh! Celebrated a little bit too soon. But this screen isn't that bad so far. Yeah, okay. I gotta be careful when I respawn. I keep, like, accidentally tapping right when I respawn because I'm still holding it since before I died. Again. But this is a kind of rough start, honestly. The last screen that I ended on was a real fun one, that's for sure. It was just an endless, like, as somebody appropriately titled it, pick-a-pipe, for anybody who has seen Mario Maker. Although that is kind of a thing in fan games, too. It was basically a bunch of invisible teleports in a room, and you had to find your way through a maze of invisible teleports to beat the level. Or screen, as it's referred to. Since, for the most part, all areas in I Wanna Be the Guy fan games are one screen, which is literally just the size of the screen you're looking at right now. This isn't selling fan games to you? Well, if this isn't selling it to you, I can't possibly imagine what would. Because this is peak gameplay right here. How have I gotten so much less consistent at this? What happened? I was getting it pretty regularly, or at least being able to jump off of the platform. I don't know what I'm approaching it differently, or how I'm approaching it differently. It takes a lot for me to get mad at a video game. I was definitely a little bit frustrated earlier while I was playing Nier, but I was more so frustrated at the fact that I was outputting a slideshow. It wasn't really frustration at the game. Whenever I get upset with a game, it's more like I end up defeated. Yo, thanks for the follow, dog. Glad you're enjoying yourself. But yeah, I get much more defeated than I do angry. Like, if I was ever to quit a game, it's not going to be in a quick burst of, this is bullshit, I'm fucking done. It's more so going to be like, this is bullshit, I guess I'm done. The drop-down is telling you what game it's from, because this is known as a medley game, now that someone, the last time I was streaming, gave me the proper name for it. It takes a lot of screens from other fan games, and changes them slightly, usually to make them harder, sometimes to make them easier, and presents them in one solid package. So when I finally beat this screen and you see a new screen, the drop-down will be different. Unless it's taken from the same game, in which case, never mind. This really shouldn't be that hard, though. Like, I was getting it so consistently at the start, but I've lost it. I've lost my touch. I'm getting it back, though. Do I think this one is harder or easier? Harder or easier than what? Those are relative terms, Dick. Unless you're talking about harder and easier than The Lion King, which makes a lot of sense, because that seems to be the only thing on your mind at all times. Yeah, I didn't get enough height. Like, I need a hold jump, but if I don't, like, immediately get to the right side of that wall, I kind of blow it. It's tough. I'm probably not doing this correctly, honestly. But I think I am. I think I just suck. Which, in itself, is me not doing it correctly. Typically, you want to be good at this kind of thing before you start this game. So, you know, for anybody who is, like, minorly interested in fan games, I don't want you to look at this and be like, wow, fan games really are as hard as the people say they are. No, not really. There's a lot of really easy, accessible fan games that are just fun platformers and free. So I definitely don't want this to sour anybody's opinion of fan games. Because there's plenty out there significantly easier and more accessible than this. And like I said, I do think that this one is pretty accessible too. Like, it leans in the difficulty rather slowly. Like, the beginner area, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to make any progress in, but I actually handled it just fine. The goal of the game is to not make it repetitive suicide. I'm just bad. Hopefully there's progress within 15 minutes. Hopefully. Otherwise, I will truly be lost. K2, which is the game I'm playing, I want to kill the Kamilia too, is pretty renowned as being difficult. One of the more difficult fan games, at the very least. Which, again, is why I was kind of surprised when the first area wasn't that challenging. And still, to a degree, like, this is hard, but, like, it's not that much harder than the stuff that came before it. It has had a pretty nice slope and difficulty up to this point, though I will definitely say that this screen is a little bit of a spike, pun intended, in difficulty. Progress in 15 minutes or 15 push-ups. 15 push-ups is not that bad. But sure, I'll put the timer. By 4:45, if I hadn't made it to the next save, I will do 15 push-ups. Oh, I was close. I need to move my mic in a better position because I'm kind of cricking my neck here trying to stay in a good position for it. Although that does kind of make me obscured, so that's probably a better place for it. This is the kind of thing that normally I would have figured out before starting the stream, but I was playing a different game before this. I wasn't really ready to be taking this journey right now. Obviously. Otherwise, I'd be doing better. Let's go. Like, the really... There's not that much to this save. It's just get around this spike block, and it should be free. Well, although you do have to position yourself along that next wall, which I just kind of got lucky last time. In all honesty. Okay, I wasn't sure if I fucked up my save since I was facing left there. Kind of freaked me out. Okay, I think I know what I was doing wrong. I should be moving left a lot sooner than I was. That at least gets me a little bit more consistency. Not that much, but a little bit more. There we... Oh, fuck, I didn't jump again. Oh, fuck, same thing happened. Okay, I'll get this in no time, though. This isn't nearly as hard as I've been making it out to be, honestly. What am I? Oh, I'm only 3 minutes in. I thought it had at least been 5 minutes since the push-up commitment. I'm free. I'm absolutely free. Restarted there because that was a double jump, not a full jump. I gotta, like, reset twice now just to make sure I'm actually positioned correctly. I didn't reset twice, and that's why I died. Just to make sure. Dude, now what's happening is I'm holding right too much. And I'm actually making it over the block and hitting the spike that's on top. And I'm doing the thing where I'm not holding left as soon as I can be. There we go. I need to focus on the spike right to the left of me there. That's what I should be focusing on. It's working so much better. Damn. Woo! Alright. Real progress hours. Oh. Oh, come on! There we go. I think the Ooh, I think that is the right way to handle that. That was a little bit scary, though. That's a kind of tricky jump. Oops. Oh, come on. Why am I so good? That took me way longer than it should have. I appreciate the praise, but if it had seriously taken until, yeah, there's no way you can do that. If it had seriously taken me until 4:45 on the clock, I would have never forgiven myself. I need to slow it down a little bit there. Yeah, okay, I am safe to jump straight up there. Ooh, that's hard. That's a kind of jump I'm not very familiar with. Like, upside down spikes I don't have a lot of practice with. There we go. Oh! Tiny, tiny landing space. Yeah, I thought I needed to move back a little bit there. There we go. Damn. This, at the very least, is all within my control, whereas, I mean, technically, the last bit was all within my control, but I did kind of have to wait on the timing of the, platform. It's all me here. It's all me. Which means I only have myself to blame when I'm dying. No gimmick. Damn. Close. Close. That's the idea behind it. You want to be on the descent of your first jump, and then kind of glide under the top spike, and use your double jump. Damn. I'm pretty much fucked if I ever land my jump too far to the right, because doing like a frame-perfect left input ain't exactly within my wheelhouse. Oof. Hey, I did it. I keep waiting too long. Though, in fairness, there is a very small window in which I can actually do it. That time, I didn't wait long enough. Ugh! Did too big of a jump. At least it's a new way of dying. Like that landing platform to the right is actually pretty tough. Like, I don't just have to make the difficult jump, I then have to land in a safe position. But once I do that, it's basically free. Like, the next obstacle... I don't even know if there's a name for that obstacle. I don't think so, since the spikes are, like, off by half a block or something. Also, I disabled Flux for Nier Automata, but now Flux is coming back. And Flux has had a history of messing up OBS, so let me just quickly check the stream. Okay. I'm not outputting a slideshow. Glad to see it. I was a little bit concerned that I would have to restart the stream. Dude, and now my eyes feel so much better. I've unlocked my ultimate strength. My true power finally unleashed. Lack of eye strain propels me forward. Ah, damn, too high on the jump again. I'm not sure if that's because I'm holding the jump button for too long, or because I'm not waiting long enough before hitting the jump button on the fall. So for those that don't really know that much about fan games, the controls are what one might call perfect? It feels kind of weird calling it perfect controls, though. Double jump again for the third jump. Unfortunately... Wait, what do you mean third jump? Wait a second. 1, 2... No. I don't think that would help me out that much, and there's no way I can... Oh, wait. I should... Give me a second. I should enable it so that I can use my cursor to actually show up things. There you go, capture cursor. Can you see my cursor? I feel like you can't see my cursor. Oh yeah, you can. Like there's no way I can make that jump. Or at the very least, that jump, like jumping from here, is significantly harder than just jumping straight up and doing it from here. Like, I don't want to complicate it anymore. Oh! Oh, so close. Only thing I messed up there was the landing. But yeah, back onto how the controls work in this game. I don't want to say perfect, and like when I say perfect, I don't mean they are perfect, as in there's nothing wrong with the controls. I just mean that when I input to the right, I move a specific amount of distance per frame on every frame. There's no momentum, there's no acceleration, there's no friction. I mean, technically there are, like, some people make ice, which I guess you would call difference in friction, but yeah, the controls are instantly responsive, and you move at a consistent speed, no matter what. Unless there are some, also, different gimmicks that involve changing the speed and physics and shit, but for the most part, when I'm holding right, I am moving 3 pixels per frame for every frame I have right held down. Similarly, for holding left, for every frame I have left held down, I'm moving 3 pixels per frame to the left. What that means is that the platforming can be much more precise than any platformer that has any sort of momentum or acceleration. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is up for the individual to decide. It just means that the boundaries are pushed a little bit farther in this kind of game than you see in most other platformers. Which I find interesting, at the very least, which is why I'm here. Damn, dude. I'm starting to get the hang of that a little bit better. Like, I'm getting a little bit farther on the spike before I'm having to use my double jump. Oops. So I don't think it's gonna take that much longer. Damn, dude. At least I'm not on a boss. I'm not sure how far away I am from a boss. I can't remember how many screens I did after the boss yesterday. The boss was easier than expected, though. I just took way too long on it because I kind of suck. Not sure if I've mentioned that yet. Oops. Was not in the mindset to do that jump. I'm curious what the next boss will be. Hopefully it's a boss I actually have to attack, because, like, I do find that more enjoyable than avoidance boss fights, which is another fan game specific thing. It is kind of a trope in fan games to have bosses where all you do is avoid a set amount of attacks and then the boss just ends. You win. You have proven that you can dodge all of the boss's attacks. Congratulations. I'm not even sure what I would call the last boss I fought, since it was kind of just an assortment of various things. Like, there was a shuriken, a deck of cards. Not really a lot of sense to be drawn from the boss fight, outside of the fact that I guess they are probably in jokes about other fan games I haven't played. I guess the one thing that everybody can understand is sticky keys showing up at the end of the boss fight. Funny joke there being that by default in I Wanna Be the Guy, and in most I Wanna Be the Guy fan games, shift is the jump button. So it is a common, hilarious joke of sticky keys showing up in people's first time playthroughs because you have to press the shift key a lot. Which is something that most other games don't really ask of you. But I don't know, I feel like I had an issue with sticky keys far before playing fan games. Does anybody actually know what the utility of sticky keys is? Oh. All I had to do was talk shit about sticky keys. Like, what plausible purpose could it ever have? You don't think anybody knows why sticky keys exist? Yeah, it's kind of how I feel. It's just one of those, like, curses placed on Windows. Nobody really knows who started it. I think, no, those are blocks. I couldn't tell if those were platforms or blocks, but yeah, the platforms have a different texture. Well, this is another moving platform section, which isn't really my strong suit. Then again, nothing in this game is really my strong suit. I should stop saying that. People will catch on. I already talk enough about how much I suck. Wow, so this is really just this. There aren't any more checkpoints. It's just a really long segment until the end of the screen. This could actually take a while before I make progress now. Previously I was pretty confident, but I don't know about this. Damn, I tried to run off the left side and use a double jump, which is obviously what you're supposed to do there. Or run out in front of it. But I fucked it up. Believe it or not. I fucked it up. God damn it. I can never get off of platforms when I want to get off of them. I keep moving in the direction that they're moving. kind of an issue. Oh, damn it. I do think it's probably better for me to be on the tip of... God damn it. On the tip of that platform. It seems to be working out decently well. At least it seemed to be working out decently well. Now I'm not so sure. Let's do the old strat of waiting. Oh god. Yeah, if there was ever going to be a section to make some sort of bet about push-ups, this would be the one. I feel like I'm gonna be here for a little bit. I want to get out ahead of that so I can just walk off. I don't want to have to run backwards, because that puts me at a, like, really awkward position. Ah, damn it. That puts me at a really awkward position for the jump. Damn, dude. So, scratch what I said about being in the front is better. It feels much better to be on the back side of that platform. Damn, dude, I keep, like, barely missing it. I want to stay on the right side of the second platform, though. Ah, fuck, I got too jump happy there. And I couldn't get off the platform. Oops. But yeah, I want to be on the right side of that second platform because I know it's going to hit the wall. And I don't want to be crunched into the spikes. Alright, I'm getting the hang of this first bit, though. God, I should have run for it. Okay, what am I gonna have to do next? I run off here, and hopefully, I mean, somewhere around here I'm gonna have to use my double jump. I would love it if I just didn't have to use my double jump until here. In fact, that's kind of what they imply you want to be doing. Maybe I do want to run off the left side and then jump back up to the platform, and then I can, like, walk off of it and save my double jump for here. I hope that I land on this platform, but honestly it seems kind of luck-based, because I have no idea what the positioning of this platform is going to be. And then from here, how hard is it? Seemingly not that bad. You jump here. This jump is kind of tricky. Actually, wait, can't you just jump from here? That seems like it's low enough that you could just double jump over. But probably not, considering this has to be here for a reason. This final jump doesn't seem that bad. Okay. I got it. I've downloaded the map. Now that it's fully within my brain, it'll just be a matter of seconds before I'm out of here. This first section is probably the hardest, honestly. Well, no, actually, I think this middle platform is probably the hardest. I think if I can get past that section and into the non-platform-based platforming, I'll be set. Damn, dude. I think you probably definitely do want to be doing this. Oh, let's go. Okay. What the fuck? You could totally just make that jump. The fuck is the point of that, this right here? Okay. Like I said, that's the easy part. God damn it, dude. That went so well. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I did my double jump way too early. And from that point, I tried to recover, but nah. I fucked it. I fucked it up. Oh, fuck. Running off the left side of that platform really isn't that bad, though. You can do it. I don't believe in you. I'm getting mixed messages here. But I appreciate the first part. I mean, I did literally make it to the last jump, so I'm not afraid of this section. You can't scare me anymore. Damn. The only thing I can be scared of at this point is my own inabilities. Ah, oh, fuck. I tried to double jump, but I was just barely outside the platform. Because the way platforms work, if you haven't already noticed, is so long as literally any of your body is touching a platform, you have infinite jumps, because the way it works is it refreshes your jump when you touch terrain, like you touch the ground or you touch platforms. So even if your head is the part that touches the moving platform, that lets you jump again. So you can basically, like, jump through a platform, even if you're out of jumps, so long as you're touching it at all. Exactly. Someone gets it, finally. The deep hidden message we've been trying to figure out this whole time. The code has been cracked. Alright, I changed my mind. I'm back on thinking that the first part is the hardest part. That middle part's not too bad. I jumped, dude. I jumped. The humanity of it. One of the few ways I have interacting with the world. I went and blew it. Still a little tricky. Not nearly as tricky as this first part, but like because you get such a small amount of attempts compared to the amount of attempts you get in the first part, it's just inherently going to take a little bit longer to get the hang of. Fuck, dude. I never know. Like, I just need to react a little bit faster. Ah! I never know when I'm gonna have to use my double jump to catch myself on that second platform. You weren't paying attention and all of a sudden K2? Yeah! K2. Were you here from the raid also? Or did you just stumble by? And, random Nier Automata streamer is now playing K2. Yeah, from the raid. Yeah, I beat the first ending of Nier Automata. So why not celebrate, you know? You've watched a lot of K3? I mean, depending on how the rest of K2 goes, I would obviously consider doing K3. And last time I played K2, I was suggested to play K1, though I've heard very bad things about the first Kill Kamilia. Yo, congrats then. Congrats on the affiliate. Your affiliation astounds me. K3 is super cool, from what I've seen. Although I'm sure I would also grow to hate it the longer I played it. But I do like a lot of the boss fights I've seen in K3. Although, the thing that gets mentioned most when you talk about the Kamilia games is boss rush. I'm not even sure if the first one has a boss rush, but obviously... it is a notable part of the experience. Especially in K3. The K3 boss rush is a sticking point for sure. Yeah. But outside of boss rush, the boss fights I've seen in K3 are all pretty cool. He's done it again? Okay. Dude, it was so easy. How did I fuck that up last time? Oh yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware of Piano, I'm aware of the Colonel. Those are the only two. I think there's a Miku fight in it, unless that's K2 boss rush. I don't really remember that well. But the Colonel and Piano are the ones I hear most about at the very least. Emperor, Miku. Yeah, that's right. I don't remember what the fourth one is. So I don't understand the left side of the screen, but I'm gonna assume... Oh! Gimmick time! Everybody's favorite. I don't know what red line means. I don't even know if there's like any sort of consistency between fan games about what the different lines do to you. 3 or 4 Miku boss fights in K3. Nice. Oh, this is not what I was expecting. I was expecting either higher jumping or... No, I guess pretty much just higher jumping. Maybe a triple jump. I wasn't expecting a bar to appear above my head. Oops, not high enough. Fuck, dude. Who cares about real corner jumps? The realest corner jump to me is jumping around a block that's one tile above you. Okay. I'm not sure if this is infinite jumps? Yeah, it is. Okay. It treats me like I'm underwater. Where do I want to go? Probably not the left path. That doesn't seem that bad, honestly. I think this screen will be pretty short. Damn, dude. I wasn't ready, I guess. I was expecting to get another full jump for some reason, which sounds idiotic because it is, for those wondering. Oh, fuck. I don't have enough time! You don't have the luxury of having... Oops, I could have just jumped again. You don't have the luxury of having the slow fall time of actually being underwater. You still have normal physics. There we go. Still wasn't that bad. Oh, I don't like the darkness. Okay, I really don't like the darkness. Well, okay. Oh, so, wait, you either need your double jump, or I can just hold right instead of holding left. One of the two. I really hope it's not that I need my double jump. Can I wait? Oh, I can wait on this up here. Not that that really helps me out that much. I forgot. I think I could have just held right, but I forgot at the last second. Yo! Thanks for the follow, dog. Appreciate you. Alright, so I do need my double jump. Good timing. There you go. Hey, there you go. There you go! Awesome, it's gonna be one of those screens. Which is another common trope of I Wanna Be the Guy fan games. From time to time, they have been known to throw the sick troll at the player. The hilarious, funny, meme way of killing the player. Never gets old. Oh, what the fuck, I lived there. Probably because of my, my max fall speed hadn't been reached. Whoops. I genuinely just accidentally pressed the shift button there. God damn it, I double jumped way too early. This one is pretty forgiving. This screen, at the very least. Oh god, I forgot what that one did. I can just jump around the second one. For the most part, I have avoided playing fan games that are incredibly trolly, just because, like, unless you are streaming the game, which until K2 I had not been streaming, it just doesn't make sense to play that kind of game in your free time. Like, the whole point of it is so that people make fun of you, right? It's haha funny when the streamer dies to something they couldn't have possibly avoided. I don't see the appeal, unless you're streaming. Okay. What the fuck? I didn't even see those spikes, dude. Come on. The tiniest little baby spikes got me again. But I mean, it does lend itself to the original I Wanna Be the Guy, right? The original also had trolls, so it definitely makes sense that it would be a feature of the genre as a whole. It's not surprising. Doesn't mean I have to like it, though. God damn. Oh, shit! I almost restarted. I hope that's you making fun of people who call them cherries. Because if not, we need a real discussion here. I won't tolerate any sort of cherries in my chat room. It's from the FAQ? Really? Is that why so many people call them cherries? I hate that. Kyan himself started this bullshit. Oh, fucking Christ, dude, it's real. Apples do not fall up. Okay. I'm glad that that's the question. Yes, giant cherries are much more renowned for falling up. I'm glad he cleared that one up for us. I can't believe it, dude. I thought it was always just people being absolutely insane, calling them cherries. I didn't realize that Kyan put some actual legitimacy behind it. That one hurt. The final obstacle. I was handling it so well. So well. Alright. This section's not so bad. It's really just the first jump that, and that one. I tried to double jump, I really did. Since I can actually use my double jump on that one. Oh, fuck, dude. I probably would have lived because of the fall speed. Well, that one's not gonna live. You do hate to see it, but okay, I didn't live that one. It's better to die on the final obstacle of a repeating obstacle than it is to die to a choke gate. Like, I would much rather just have a lack of consistency than a lack of ability to do a fucking gate jump. Boy, oh boy, would that be embarrassing. I can't imagine what that would feel like. Guy who definitely didn't have problems doing an elevated gate jump like 5 or 6 times at the end of the screen yesterday. It is quite a long screen to get to the checkpoint, though. Okay, I thought I was safe. Glad I chose to input literally nothing. Glad I chose to not have a brain there. Oh, fuck, dude. Yo! Thanks for the follow, dog. Glad you're enjoying yourself. I, too, am having fun here. We're alike, you and I. Am late. Nice. Tardiness is accepted here. But boy oh boy, would you be in trouble if it wasn't. Just AFK. That's fair. Just boosting my stats, bro. I'm gonna get that affiliation in no time. Alright, gotta do my fucking stretches, because, like, the only reason I ended stream yesterday was because, I wasn't stretching often enough and my fingies, my poor little fingies started hurting. Alright. We're in this. Nice! Good start! Fan games are really bad for, poor little fingies. Not as bad as Smash, I don't think, but pretty bad. Okay. Pretty bad. I think it would be pretty hard for anything to hurt fingers as bad as Melee, though. Like, Melee is the absolute hand destroyer. Like, it actually hurts just watching people play Melee. The amount of inputs and the disgusting shape the controller forces you to hold your hands in for actual play is pretty awful. Well, I mean, even if you're Even if you're not playing Fox, like, I mean, you still want to be wave dashing. You want to be schmoovin' on your opponent. And unless you're doing at least 5 wave dashes per second, you're not a real pro. Everybody knows that. You think I could just land on that spike, like the place where the spike used to be down there? But I mean, wave dashes are the obvious answer. As someone who's not really good at Melee, I've played Melee, obviously. I mean, who hasn't? But as someone who never really got good at Melee, I'm sure there are much more hand-destroying things than just wave dashing constantly. It's just the thing that is available to every character, and something that you have to be doing constantly to stay unpredictable. So it comes to mind... Oh, wait. Is that really that easy? I didn't really realize what the challenge there was, but can't I just hold right and be completely fine? Or am I missing something? You know what? It's probably that the platforms are going to... Oh, I forgot about that spike. It's probably that the sideways platforms are going to slurp me up. So I'm no longer going to be moving upwards with the other platform. Lots of aerial canceling techniques are tough. That's fair. I imagine that's also something you would be doing pretty commonly, depending on the character at least. That does seem like a more character-dependent one, though. Like, I imagine if you're playing Puff, as much as I don't respect it, sorry, HBox, I imagine that's something you would be doing constantly as the character that literally never stops being in the air. I think I can jump over that, I'm just not timing it properly. I guess Guitar Hero is pretty rough on fingies too, but then again, so is just playing the guitar in general. For some reason though, is it just me? Am I insane? For thinking that playing Guitar Hero is worse on your fingers than actually playing the guitar? Like, I know that playing the guitar is obviously horrible for your fingers and hands as a whole, just because of the stretches you have to do and the finger positions are conducive to absolutely shattering that part of your body. But you don't have to move your fingers nearly as fast as like some Clone Hero maps are going to force you to play. Not that that means that Clone Hero players are at peak performance and should be revered higher than incredibly skilled guitar players, but I do think that they're probably putting their hands at more risk than the average guitar player is. Okay. So I need to be careful. What the fuck? How did I end up on the... Wah! I was holding right! How did I end up on the left side of that? Somebody get the replay. I'm pretty sure I didn't hold left, but that's what the game seemed to tell me I just did. I don't know who to believe anymore. Yo, later then. Thanks for hanging out, and super appreciate the raid, dog. I really do. What's going on here? Am I missing something? Or is that the next challenge? The next challenge is an invisible wall, I guess. I don't trust that. I swear to God, that's another troll. No way, dude. It's really not? Okay. Fine, I'll trust you. Unless... Okay. I fully trust it now. Final tower. Wait. Oh my god, I thought I was... trolled again. I thought by saving there I wouldn't be able to actually beat the screen, because it would save my position along with the platform's positions, therefore locking me there permanently. Well, that's a death. That's what you call a death right there. Oh wait, so that must mean that after this segment I am going to fight the second boss, because it was spoiled to me. The second boss is going to be the guy. Exciting stuff. Oh, that doesn't help things out. I may already be dead. I'm not sure how unforgiving this is. It looks like I'm dead, dude. Yeah. Holding right. Let's see the tapes. Let's see the goddamn tapes on this one. Okay. So... I need to be careful. How did I end up on the left side? Literally the only button I pressed there was right. And I swear to God, that was the only platform I could have been standing on. Was the one in between the section I was at and the... Oh, I'm dead again. Swear to God, I'm fucking dead. Oh shit. Actually not dead. But yeah, I don't know what other platform I could have been standing on, since I don't think I literally inputted left at all over there. Let's go. What's the smallest amount of space you can land on? Is it 16 pixels? That sounds right to me. Fuck landing in a 16 pixel. I can't even align in like 30 pixels. That at the very least didn't feel like 16 pixels or whatever the minimum is. That felt pretty forgiving, but I still fucked it up. "16 gaps are the smallest." That's what I thought. Woo! Not even close, baby. Oh, did I fuck up? Excuse me. What is the left side of the screen there? Did I go the wrong route? Because it looked like the right way to go was to the right, but that also seems significantly harder. Although, keep in mind, all your fan game knowledge is secondhand. Honestly, secondhand knowledge is probably better than my knowledge, because most of my knowledge is also secondhand, and with, like, 2 years of not doing anything fan game related. So, a fresher memory on the subject matter is probably better than whatever I have. Because I really do have, like, very little fan game experience before this. I've fully completed maybe... Oh, I'm dead. Maybe 6 fan games before jumping into K2. I think I have a list. Like, I have a notepad list somewhere of fan games I've beaten, so that I didn't accidentally forget and play a game I've already beaten. The horrors. Damn. Fully completed 0 fan games. That's the spirit. They're pretty fun. Honestly, like, I think most people who watch fan games would probably also find them enjoyable to play. Maybe not, but... I mean, you know yourself more than me, so... it's probably up to your own discretion. Oops. You don't like platformers, but enjoy the humor. Damn. Sad way to go. I can't even think of what it's like to not enjoy platformers. That's like my bread and butter. So what kind of games do you play? Because, if you're an affiliate, you must be streaming something. Unless you're, one of those creative streamers that actually does something. Outputs into this world. What must that be like? Okay, you definitely can't go over to the right there, so I guess this is the... Ah, and then you walk over to the right. I understand. Alright, so I'm aware of evil checkpoint. I'm not that unfamiliar. RPG and strategy games are your favorite? What have you streamed most recently, so I can get a better picture? Miku! This isn't the guy. Okay, that was a fun avoidance. There we go. Okay. About how I expected this to be going. Oh, fuck, dude. OOT Rando, let's go, dude. Let's fucking go. I play Link to the Past Rando, but I have considered OOT Rando. Earthbound, weekly. I've never beaten Earthbound. I've played a tiny amount of it, enough to know that I really like the humor in it. Like, that game's got a great sense of humor. But couldn't keep my interest enough to beat it, because at the core of it, it still is a JRPG, which I find a little bit hard to make through, in my opinion. There are some that keep my interest. Typically, JRPGs that have, like, some extra layer to them. It crashed. Let's open that bad boy up again. Like, probably my favorite JRPG series is the... I mean, I do, in general, like the Dragon Quest games. But, more specifically... Hello? Are you gonna pick it up, or are you just gonna pick up loading? Please wait. Because the game is open on my end. Oh, no, dude. I gotta fucking fix it. Give me a sec. Loading, huh? There you go. That's the actual game we're looking for. Alright, now that I've accidentally made a shit ton of suspense, the JRPG that's kept my... It fucking... It crashed again. Let's open that bad boy up real quick. Fucking Christ, dude. Am I ever going to get to my point? The JRPG that has kept my interest the longest. Now I'm gonna have to fix the fucking screen region again. Is the Dragon Quest Joker series. Alright. Please don't crash, dude. While, Joker 3 isn't the most accessible to those Americans among us. Dude, am I missing something, or is this boss just broken? Why was it not crashing before, and now it crashes every time? Do I need a google.com why the guy in K2 is unbeatable? It's his ultimate move. He realizes that eventually I'll kill him. So to stop that from happening, he crashes my fucking game. Alright, let's try and dodge on the left side of the screen and see if that makes things better. It's a lot more claustrophobic back here, I'll tell you that. Okay, I wasn't sure. I'm so bad at, like, telling where bullets are gonna land ahead of time. Ah, fuck, dude. I was in a good position, but I moved out of it. So far, my stand on the left side of the screen strategy has proven infallible. Oh, I should probably jump up there, huh? Oh, this fight's gonna take a while, dude. I'm so bad at getting damage out there. Like, bosses in general aren't my strong suit. I know I was asking for one where I actually have to shoot, because I do think that that's more interesting. Oh, fuck. But at the same time, that doesn't mean I'm gonna be good at it. Dude. I would be surprised, honestly, if I, beat this before I decided to end the stream. Spoilers. I'll try. You know, like, I'm not just gonna give up immediately. But I really... Are those bullets just not going to hit me? They keep bouncing off of the floor beneath me. Maybe I should give that some more time before giving up on it. Still killed me. Still killed me. Is this really... Is that the fight? What is that? Alright. Everybody's favorite. Alright! Should have known that fucking Reggie Ice was gonna appear on top of me. That's my bad. I really fucked up on that one, dude. Oh, optimal damage, let's go. What the fuck is this attack, though? Like, it just doesn't do anything. Fuck. I was standing in the, like, best position to do damage to the boss. Surprise attack by Reggie Ice. Damn. Alright, this definitely isn't good for my fingers. Fuck whatever I was doing before, spamming the Z button so I can get optimal damage. That's gonna put my fingers in an early grave. Where are you going? I don't know about that one, Chief. Not sure what I was supposed to do there. Had a wave of bullets above me, and then also he just drops down and shoots. But it seemed like Reggie Ice and Reggie Rock? I don't fucking know who the other one was. It seemed like they disappeared pretty quickly. Oh fuck, don't jump up. I mean, it is his objective to kill me, so he's doing a pretty good job of it so far. Ah, fucking walled. Complete bullshit. Impossible boss fight. Reported. 1 star. I'm sure I could have avoided that if I just ran backwards and jumped up here, but that was kind of a little bit of a ridiculous wall there. Okay. I can't tell if their projectiles are random. It looked pretty similar to how it ended up last time. But also, it's really hard to tell because of the pattern of the bullets. I'm pretty sure. Like, why would that be a pattern? Like, if this shit's gonna be random, also that was sick. If this shit's gonna be random, then why the hell wouldn't they make the Reggie attacks random? Yeah, that's random. Okay. I was hoping they would bounce off the wall like the other bullet attack. Whoops. Whoopsies. Vigorously shaking my webcam because I'm spamming the Z button. This attack seems better now that you just, right before you left, drop one right on my head. Good one. Good one. I feel like I'm getting decent damage here. Although, probably not because of the 5 bullet limit. I'm probably not doing nearly as much damage as I think I am. Wow! I know that's not impressive to anybody who's actually good at fan games, but I'm proud of myself for that one. I thought you got your double jump back after touching vines, but apparently not. Either that or I just pressed the button too late. Yeah, I'm not doing that much damage there. Am I safe? Okay. I wasn't sure if that apple was going to give me a haircut or chop my head off. Having an RNG attack where like 80% of the apples are guaranteed to not damage you is kind of weird though. Because that makes it really hard to balance the difficulty of the attack from a numeric standpoint. Yeah, you do not get your double jump back, so I should take that slower. It's an interesting decision. Although, obviously, there's some level of it where you want the attack to be flashy. That's kind of the whole point of avoidances. Oh, I'm so fucking good, dude! How did he get this good? People gonna be asking me for my number. I was thinking about it. Don. How have you been? Well, in the immediacy, I'm thinking about becoming the guy, just due to the boss fight. But yeah, the end goal is to kill the one known as Kamilia. Not the one in real life, though. I'm sure they're fine. Probably. They did make this game, so there's something to be said about them. God damn it, dude. Playing some Dead Cells. That is a weird one for me. On the one hand, I think it is... I respect the design of the game. I think that, like, the developers have correctly noted, like, a few things that I do respect about the game design of the game. That being said, I think they really dropped the ball in a few places. Some things about Dead Cells I find pretty lackluster, unfortunately. I also just don't really like the whole roguelike with permanent progression thing. I know that, like, what's the one? It's the one where you're a knight and you have lineage or something. They're making a second one of it, I saw. I mean, that game's good for its own reasons. And it inspired a lot of roguelikes. Rogue Legacy, there you go. Is almost balanced pretty well. That's a fun take. The Saturday game is either The Mask or a Lion King game. Here's the bullshit that I disagreed with about that second roll, by the way. I would not have agreed to the second spinning of the wheel if I had known that Dick was also gonna vote on it. The whole reason we're doing a second wheel is in case Dick isn't there. But now we've got 2 games that Dick wants to play, so what the fuck is the point? I don't get it. For those of you who are here from the raid and the game crashed. Good timing. For those of you who are here from the raid and have no idea what I'm talking about, well, I was gonna say on Fridays, but it really has been Saturdays most of the time. Me and a group of friends get together and race games that none of us have played, and it's fun. It's a good time. It's not exactly fair, because, like, a lot of blind racing is discovering shit and then trying to keep it secret from everybody else so that you're the only one with the advantage. Although I'm the only one who seems to be playing that way. Nicholas is so good at games and so fucking helpful. Like, if anybody has any questions, Nicholas is just like, oh yeah, here's how you do that. Don't worry, I got you. And here I am, keeping literally everything to myself like some kind of asshole. I give out secrets when it doesn't matter anymore. Like, I will keep a secret. Until somebody is, like, either really struggling with something, or I'm so far ahead of them that it doesn't matter. But anyways, back to the Dead Cells Rogue Legacy thing I was saying. It's just, it seems like it's a 10% chance that when the boss does his first attack, it's gonna crash. It's, his ultimate move. There's no way to counter it. I'm just timing the stream. I've kept the timer going since when I was playing Nier earlier. Because we are going to be racing, I wanted to put a spot in my overlay for a timer. And figured I might as well use it, even if I'm... even if I'm not actually trying to go fast. It doesn't really matter. I shouldn't have jumped. It doesn't really matter if you time fan game, because fan games have their own timer for how long you played it. Yeah. A lot of fan games are made in GameMaker. Most of them, at this point, I would say, are made in GameMaker. The vast majority. Okay, let's avoid this next attack. So, yeah, Dead Cells kind of... God damn it. I could see the wall approaching. It fails in a few regards, in my opinion. The biggest one for me is I really just don't like roguelikes that have permanent progression, because that kind of defeats the purpose of roguelikes, in my opinion. Roguelikes are fun because you lose everything and get a new adventure every single time. I think, I don't know. I don't know what really inspired... I mean, obviously Rogue Legacy inspired it, but I don't know what inspired Rogue Legacy into thinking that that was a good idea. I guess it's because they were just going with the whole idea of, like, lineage and, like, leaving a mark on the world after you die. So it kind of makes sense in Rogue Legacy's case, but I wish it didn't inspire literally every future roguelike to have permanent progression, because I really don't like it. Yeah, but there are permanent upgrades. Like, so a lot of the things in Rogue Legacy are just unlocks, which I have no problem with. Roguelikes having unlocks, that's fine. So long as an unlock isn't, like, ridiculously overpowered compared to everything else in the game, that's fine. But there are, like, permanent, oh, you have more healing item upgrades, and oh, you have... I think there's ones that just increase, like, your max life, too, right? And oh... what's the other big one? The big damage increasing ones. Yeah, I know new traditional roguelikes are still being made, but, for me, the only roguelike that nails literally everything I want out of a roguelike is Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, which is still actively being developed. As far as traditional roguelikes go. But yeah, Dead Cells fails in more than just permanent progression. Like, I do dislike the permanent progression, but also, I think that Dead Cells, like, really made a mistake in doubling down with the whole timed vaults thing. God damn it, that was close. Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup fork. What do they change about it? Is it a fork off of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, or a fork... Sorry, I phrased that. Let me change my inflection. Is it a fork off of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, or is it a fork off of Dungeon Crawl? Since there are, like, many forks off of the original Dungeon Crawl. Lindley's Dungeon Crawl. It's a fork off of Stone Soup. Neat. I haven't heard of it. But yeah, Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup does a lot of really sick things to the genre. I mean, I genuinely can't play a roguelike that doesn't have auto-explore. And obviously, Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup goes so far out of the way in making everything, like, so streamlined for the player. Like, the ability to control F items on the ground is, like, the easiest example for people. Like, what fucking game lets you control F? At all. It's hilarious, but also, like, incredibly useful. Like, the amount of quality of life shit put into Stone Soup is truly a feat on its own, outside of the fact that the game is just really solidly well designed beyond that. Space Invaders. Okay, give me a second, now that I'm actually at a new part in the fight. But yeah, Dead Cells doubling down on the timed bolts kind of kills the game, because it's genuinely like the optimal winning strategy to just run past literally every enemy and make it to the time vaults. Like, you don't need to loot literally anything else. Obviously, if you find, like, the stat increase things, you're gonna pick those up on the way, but, like, the genuine best strategy for Dead Cells is run as fast as possible. It adds new content, new races and backgrounds, reduces some branch lengths, changes some god content. That's about what I would expect from a branch. I wouldn't expect them to change, and it crashed. This is a cool boss fight. adds an archaeologist background that starts you off with light armor, a whip, and a tome that turns into a scroll of acquirement at level 5. That's pretty nice. Typically, you're not going to find an acquirement till way deeper in the game, so having a guaranteed acquirement is pretty sick. Though, I don't know exactly how acquirements work. I think it's, to some degree, aren't acquirements based on the level of your skills? So, like, if you ask for a weapon, it's going to give you a weapon based on your highest trained weapon skill, yeah? But, like, if you only have a weapon skill trained to, like, 6 or something, is it gonna give you a shitty weapon, or is it still gonna give you something good? It shows you exactly what you would give? Is that a new change to Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup as a whole, or just the branch? Because that seems ridiculous if it actually tells you exactly what you're gonna get out of an acquirement, dude. I'm pretty sure that's not a mainline thing. Unless they changed it somewhat recently. Because I don't have the most recent version of Stone Soup, but I have a pretty recent version. It also adds in manuals as a category. That's pretty sick. Because, like, in regular play, like, if you full cleared a dungeon excluding the infinite floors, branches, I guess is the right way to call them, you would maybe find 1 or 2 manuals. They are incredibly rare. Damn, dude. Manual of Armor? Dude. Make me want to play more Stone Soup. Recalling, because, like, I'm not that good at Stone Soup, mind you. I've only gotten 4 rune victory? I think? 10 runes? Damn, dude. Pan gets closed when you hit 27. I understand that change. For sure. But it is kind of weird that it locks you out of getting the Pandemonium runes. That's kind of shitty. Like, yeah, you just know ahead of time. Get there before you're level 27, but still kind of shitty. Because there's, like, nothing else in the game that really acts like that. 3 or 4 times in mainline. I know, I typically, like, outside of my first win, I've tried to get as many runes as possible, but that's why I haven't won ever since. So I stopped winning. It's a sad story, really. But yeah, shoutouts to my first win that was gifted very on when I was much, much worse at the game. I was playing Minotaur Berserker, praising Trog every day, and I got, like, fucking, I think it was genuinely the crystal armor on, like, Dungeons 10 or something absolutely absurd. Something you would never expect to find. It was either crystal armor or it might have been golden dragon armor. But I'm pretty sure you can't find golden dragon armor unless you actually find a golden dragon and, quote-unquote, skin it. Minotaur fighter to Okawaru. Okawaru is Probably the better pick over Trog, for sure. Golden Dragon Armors can drop? It might have been Golden Dragon Armor, then. Really? I don't know that many of the Young Lands. Or for people who don't play Stone Soup, to put it into easier to understand perspective, it's basically a unique item. It's the typical terminology in every other game. Trog lets you summon stuff, so probably not. Does Trog let you summon stuff? Trog lets you summon stuff. Wait a second here. Does he now? Brothers in Arms? Dude, it's been a while since I've actually run Trog. And like when I first played the game, I never used God abilities outside of Berserk because I'm a fucking incompetent fool. Like, I guarantee I never used Brothers in Arms on my first victory, and I haven't played Trog that much since I got better at the game. So, I don't fucking know what abilities he actually has. I've played a lot more Okuwaru. Probably. I honestly should experiment more with the gods. I mean, the free gifts from Okuwaru are always nice, outside of, like, the first 15 dungeon levels. Up until you're, like, I don't know, max piety with him, pretty much. It seems like he only gives you bolts and arrows. Thanks, Okuwaru. Absolute legend coming in clutch. You can switch from Okuwaru to TSO. I forget. Oh, wait, the Shining one. Yeah. Really? I feel like that Wrath was in there for a purpose. Because Okuwaru is quite strong. Should not be easily switched out upon. Especially because the Shining one becomes so much more useful in the late game. Yeah, exactly. The Oko of late game. That is a balance change that is questionable, at the very least. Yeah, I guess. There are probably more than there should be that have no punishment for switching out of. I feel like punishment should be done differently. Like, it would make more sense to me if you got a stronger Wrath for the more piety you actually had in the god. And maybe that is the way it works, because I don't have the most extensive knowledge, but at least the way I thought it worked was, it was a pretty static thing. Like, you are always going to have the same Wrath effects, no matter how much piety you had in them beforehand. So if you're actually getting the good benefits out of a god, it should be more of a commitment, and should be more punishing if you switch off of that god. And that way, they can, for a lot of the gods, still keep it so that it's basically... God Wrath is generally stronger in mainline. Spell miscasts are very dangerous in mainline. I'm not sure what they've done to change it in your branch version, but yeah, spellcasts are nothing to fuck around with. But yeah, if they made it so that the Wrath was based on piety, they could still have it so that for a lot of the good gods, you can get some utility out of them here and there and not be punished too hard for switching off of them. Or maybe even have it so that there's 0 punishment for like the first 2 piety levels. But I really feel like gods should be a lot harder to switch out of than it generally is in mainline. I also don't experience the Wrath that much because, like you said, it is, for most gods, literally just not a thing, and also not something I really endeavor to do. I typically, like, decide what god I'm going to go with when I start the playthrough, and kind of plan my character around that so that I don't have to switch. So, I'm not actually sure how long God Wrath lasts. Is it permanent for most gods? Or does it eventually teeter out? I don't honestly know. I would think it's a temporary thing. No? That's the problem with asking 2 questions that are opposite, not knowing which one the no is in response to. All Wrath can be exhausted. Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, it really doesn't make sense that it used to be based on turn count. What is it based on now? Arbitrary units of time? Or is it based on kills? That also makes more sense. That makes infinitely more sense. XP gain? Fair enough. Fair enough. But that's the kind of good design I look for. That's why I appreciate Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. That's why I look at something like... what is the name of it? Dungeons of Dreadmore. I look at Dungeons of Dreadmore and fucking puke. Because the game has a healing feature, but the majority of healing items are heal over time. And also, you can just spam the fucking wait button to heal, so what is the point? What is the point of healing over time if you just naturally heal over time? I don't fucking, like... Oh, the game crashed. I was getting too excited about Dungeons of Dreadmore. That is not a recommended roguelike. Traditional roguelike for those who are considering a traditional roguelike to start out with. You'll be sure to play it. It's very easy. It's fine as an entry point. It's just got glaring, incredibly obvious design issues, and also leans a lot more towards the, what's the game? Oh, it's the famous one. Is it Dot Hack, or am I thinking of something else? NetHack? Dot Hack? You know the one. You probably know what I'm talking about. NetHack, okay. Yeah, Dreadmore leans heavily into the it is fun to experience death in a way that you would have no way of knowing was going to happen. Which is a kind of design I don't respect. Yeah, I know. I knew one of them was anime, but I wasn't sure which one. I'm glad I got one of them right. I would have been in disarray if both of them were anime. I feel like I'm making literally no progress in this boss fight. Probably because I'm making literally no progress in this boss fight. I haven't even gotten close to the halfway point. Tome is decent. Tome is decent. I think the quest system in it is interesting. Though Tome also has some sufferings due to the design. Maybe they've changed it, because it's been a really long time since I played Tome. But at least the last time I played it, there were a few, like, really easy exploits. And you can always, like, stay in areas and grind to, like, max level if you want to. But maybe they've gone back on those kinds of things and changed them. I mean, it's definitely not a good use of your time to stay in the first area until you're max level, but the fact that it is possible. You don't think that's generally feasible? Then they maybe have helped it out since I last played. Because it was pretty bad the last time I played it, honestly. Like, it was far, far too easy to cheese the hell out of the game. So that's good to hear. Damn. Miku hasn't been nice to me recently. See if you can sleep. Fair enough. Thanks for hanging out, Dawn. I should really be heading out soon, but it's hard to end on a boss fight. Because then I know that the next time I come in here, I'm gonna be on the same damn boss fight, and it's gonna be decades before I actually make progress. But it probably is a good idea for me to head out pretty soon, too. Should have been asleep like 2 hours ago. That's a very nice compliment. Glad you're enjoying yourself enough to your own detriment. But you really should head out if you need to. I should really be heading out, because I kind of need to. I'll give this a good, solid... Well, let me look at the clock in a second. I'll be back with you momentarily. Oh god. Dude, oh, that's rough. I'll give this until I get to 6:30 on the clock. 22 more minutes. And then I'm out of here. Probably not going to make too much progress on the boss, but I do understand that attack now. Previously, I thought he aimed the grenades at you too, but I'm pretty sure he just aims the bullets at you. So all the section really is just dodge the bullets and... oh, fuck. Dodge the bullets and dodge the Space Invader bullets. Game crashed. Surprising. Literally nobody. Literally not a single person surprised by the game crashing. Dude, I am so fucking hungry. I hope my very audible to me stomach growling hasn't been coming through. Because goddamn, it's been a hot minute since I got some food. Good start. Zero growling. Let's go. 0 growl %. If I kept my cat in here a little bit longer, there may have been some growling. He is quite the ferocious beast. Though I'm not sure if you were here to see the cat. So that might have 0 meaning to you. But you're definitely missing out. Okay. The farthest I've ever made it. That attack wasn't even hard, dude. Oh, I'm actually really close. You can get so much damage on that phase of the... Wait, what am I doing? You can get so much goddamn damage on that phase of the fight. But then again, there's probably more than one phase. It is the worst. I blame it on trying to get optimal damage. Because if I wasn't focusing on doing damage, I probably would have been fine. But honestly, I shouldn't give myself any credit. I probably would have died no matter what. Okay. We are in there. Am I going crazy, or did he not jump? I feel like the last bullet was, like, even with my body. And I jumped over the first bullet. Not sure what happened. I'm probably just misremembering. I haven't really been paying attention to that attack that hard. If there is a bullet, then yes. Okay. Let's, focus up this time. No, he definitely... No, yeah, no, he fucking... He's mixing it up on me! Sometimes he shoots the bullet at, like, the height of his jump, and sometimes he waits till he falls a little bit. Oh, what am I doing? My damage. I missed at least 4 shots there. I've definitely gotten a lot better at the fight, but... Whew. Still quite a bit left, it feels like. Get real fucking personal with him. The more personal you are... God damn, dude! The more personal you are, the more damage you do. Since for those unaware of how bullets work in this game, the player is only capable of shooting 5 bullets on screen at once. So if you get right up close to the enemy you're shooting, you get to do way more damage. Yeah, I knew that was safe. I wasn't even afraid. Not even close. Then again, with how bad my firing is, since I really don't shoot that fast, I probably don't really benefit that much. Ugh. Turns out the attack gets harder the longer it lasts. When the bullets start rotating from different angles, it gets a little tricky. Alright, I've still got a solid 16 minutes. I can pull out the win. That was bad rock RNG. Calling it. Yeah, it's definitely a pattern. Or at the very least, like, the RNG matters way less, since there's, like, way less actual projectiles. So even if it was RNG, it wouldn't actually impact the attack that much. Wow! Those rocks, dude. None of those jumps were jumps I wanted to make. Hate to see it. My wrist is getting tired of fucking spamming the Z button. What the fuck, dude? Sometimes he puts rocks on the entirety of the floor, sometimes he literally yeets them miles away where they will never affect you. God damn, dude. Rotating bullets. My nemesis. I'm just so bad at reading. Like, I'm pretty bad at reading bullet trajectory in general. But when you start adding rotation to the mix, it's all fucking over. Like, the way I tend to choose to take it is try and position yourself so that you are currently where the bullets are, like, closed, because then by the time the bullets make it to you, it'll be an open doorway. But what ends up happening is I keep running towards where the bullets are closed, and then surprise, surprise, when they hit me, they're closed, and I just run into the bullets. That was really rough RNG. I'm gonna hate K3 boss rush. Yeah, probably. Probably gonna hate K2 boss rush. Doesn't matter if there's rotation or not. I mean, there probably is going to be rotation, because that's a pretty common bullet pattern. Especially Piano. I don't remember Piano having that many curved bullets. It has been a while since I've seen any Piano content, though. So I don't necessarily doubt it. Oh, I thought I could make that with a single jump. Clearly not. I'm really not looking forward to the second phase, because I guarantee there's a second phase. I mean, there's a second phase in the original I Want to Be the Guy, so there's no way that K2 makes it an easier guy fight. Ah. Help. I fully expect Guy to shove his fucking head through the window, as the prophecies foretold. Ah! Bullets change trajectory in mid-air during certain phases. Ah. Sounds fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. Okay. And of course they give me the freest Miku when I'm most prepared and focused. Now get a little bit lucky with Rock RNG, just a tiny bit. I'm not I fucking accidentally double jumped. I'm not asking for that much. I just want Rock RNG that literally gives me some ground to move on. Alright, looking like I may not see the next phase of the fight before the 30 minutes. Woo! Alright, I had pretty bad Miku RNG, so yeah, give me good Rock RNG. It actually almost fucked me at the end there, but we made it. Fucking die, you son of a bitch. Okay, god damn, dude. The rock RNG is pretty bad. So far, that's like the worst part of the fight. As far as my consistency is feeling. It seems to be the major choking point, outside of that attack that I keep dying. But that attack, as discussed, doesn't seem to be RNG, and if it is, it doesn't matter that much. I just suck at dodging that kind of attack. I mean, I did a little bit better when I just decided to stop shooting and try and dodge the attack, but it's also probably not advisable to stop shooting. Fucking die. Oh. I second-guessed myself there. I walked back into the bullet. It is a harder attack than I gave it credit at first. Much harder. It might be, you know what, it's probably an easier attack if I don't get as close to the guy. Because the attacks are kind of originating from up and to the left. At least, that's what it seems like in my memory. I could have done that. That was just bad positioning, honestly. I don't have the best mental image of that attack, but I think it's coming from up and to the left. In which case, the right side of the screen would probably be best. Because due to the way the rotation of the attack works, that would be the place that has the widest openings between bullets. The attack alternates between upper left and upper right. Well, that doesn't help me. Maybe standing in the exact center is actually where I want to be. I'm so glad I went to the grocery store before I started streaming, because that means I have frozen pizzas waiting for me, so I don't even need to worry about cooking in these trying times. God damn it. I do have to worry about the game crashing. That's something that I'll never stop worrying about. Oh, but god damn, I shouldn't have thought about the frozen pizza, because now that I have, my immense hunger has only gotten worse. That crash is very annoying. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It seems to be less consistent when I'm on the left side of the screen, at the very least. Maybe it's just anecdotal. But ever since I started coming to the left side of the screen, it seemed to die down a little bit. I'd be curious to know what causes the crash, because I don't feel like I'm doing that much differently. Oh shit. Tried to take a sneaky peek at chat. It was definitely more frequent, but I don't know. Still, plausibly anecdotal. I would have to go back to the right side and check it out. Because, like, in my head, I'm just like, why the fuck would my player's position actually change whether it crashes or not? The attack he's doing seems to be entirely pattern-based and not based on my positioning at all. But maybe it's some, like, leftover code where the attack was originally going to target you, and sometimes it crashes because of that. Who knows? Wow, that was bad. Maybe it's based on fucking system clock. Oh, maybe it's the unfortunate system clock doing me in. It has to be related to the grenades, because that's the only thing going on at that time. I just can't imagine, like, what could cause the crash if it works so consistently sometimes. And also, like, yeah, what could cause the crash if it's entirely, like, pattern-based? Like, I can't imagine there's some line of code that's like, oh yeah, if the player's position is divisible by 37, try and divide by 0. Like, what the fuck could possibly cause the crash? That's probably what Kamilia was thinking when they were making the boss, and probably why the boss continues to have a crash to this day. Wow. Let me see that. Nah, the flames seem pretty damn consistent. But there might be some level of randomness that I'm not thinking about. Does it leave particles when the grenades explode? I haven't been paying attention. If it leaves random particles, then maybe it has to do with the particles. Yeah, that was really bad. I keep taking that wall jump section way too quickly. No, there's no particles, dude. I have no fucking clue. It also only seems to happen with those starter grenades, and not the grenades he throws later. I mean, maybe it's just because I've visited the grenades he throws later way less. I mean, we could be thinking about it all wrong, and maybe it's some memory-related issue, since there's so many explosions on screen at once, but also, The game definitely throws a hell of a lot more things on the screen than just those explosions. I don't think the explosions are the most cluttered the screen has been, although, while it might not be a memory thing, it could be overloading GameMaker by making too many objects all at once. So maybe the timing of the grenades being thrown is slightly random, and maybe if all of the grenades are thrown perfectly so that, like, they all land on the ground at the exact same time, it instantly tries to make, like, 30 fire objects, and that's what crashes it. In my head, that's, like, the only plausible thing I can think of. Is that it's being overloaded by too many objects being created at once. But still, I don't really buy that, because there's a lot of bullets that get generated, and it's possible that the bullets are created ahead of time and, like, object pooled, but... What did I die to? Was there literally any danger there? What did I die to? Seems too plausible to be likely. I think since it's already close to 30 minutes on the clock, I think that'll be my final attempt. But I genuinely... Did I walk into the spike? What fucking killed me there? I don't know. If I walked into the spike, then that's the perfect ending. But, yeah. That's gonna do it for me. That was a fun stream. For the first time in history, I have successfully held a decent amount of viewership post-raid. That being said, like, the only other major raid I've ever had was, a raid when I was playing Monster Train. And, like, for those of you who know what Monster Train is, you can very quickly understand why that's a game that a lot of people would snooze at and immediately close the stream. Monster Train's sick, dude. It's a lot easier than Spire. I'm just gonna assume you have experience in Spire if you're playing Monster Train. It's significantly easier than Spire. But, it's fun. It's flavorful. It's getting a big update literally today. It's not as good as Spire, for sure. But it is still fun. I still think that, like, the biggest thing with the game that leads to, like, balance issues is how ridiculous the numbers get so fucking quickly. Like, oh, dude, I need to see this clip, because what fucking killed me? What the fuck killed me? It's possible that the bullets are created ahead of time and, like, object pooled, but... Dude, I just fucking died for existing. I just got punished for trying to live my goddamn life. Yeah, the numbers in Monster Train get ridiculous so quickly. Like, Animus of Will is a really good example of a card that is probably just way too fucking strong. Because, literally, why take... Like, the only two archetypes worth building with, Awoken is either Super Spiky or Awoken. Or, sorry, Awoken. That's the fucking class. Animus of Will. Because already the Awoken has so many benefits to, like, enhancing units and increasing their damage. So, like, you get Animus of Will and, what is it, Razor Sharp, or whatever? The thing that lowers max HP and increases damage by a shit ton. And you're fucking snowballing. You're getting out of control ridiculously fast. And then you put Holdover on your Razor Sharp, upgrade the max HP of your Animus of Will. What could stop you? What could fucking stop you? But on the other side of things, like, the very first enemies you're killing, like, the first floor boss has, like, 40 HP. And then the final boss in the game has, like, over 2,000 HP. So unless you scale out of control, there's just no fucking chance you're gonna win. Holdover is pretty damn abusable. Like, Monster Train is definitely... It's, like, super balanced in the player's favor. Like, way too much, honestly. It gives the player way too much ability to get ridiculously powerful. The problem with that is when you give the player the ability to very easily get absurdly strong, and then balance your game around your players being absurdly strong, when you don't get lucky and are, like, very, very unfortunate, which, again, doesn't happen too often. Like, I've only lost 3 or 4 runs, and 3 of them were definitely my fault. But, one of them, I was just like, I don't fucking know what I was supposed to do. I just couldn't scale fast enough, and, the game outpaced me. Relic that makes it so when you play a spell, all of the spells that cost less cost 0 for a turn, and put Holdover on a 3-cost spell. Yeah. I can imagine that would be pretty damn strong if you're playing Stygian. Stygian also is, like, ridiculously weak compared to all of the other classes. Unnecessarily so. You can get some nutty stuff with Stygian. I'm not saying that Stygian is impossible to win with or anything. Yeah, I would say that Stygian is definitely the weakest class. You've been very impressed with Stygian? Maybe I'm playing it wrong. Like, there are some Stygian cards that I'm like, hell yeah, thank you. I'm glad to have Stygian on board. But if I'm playing Stygian Awoken, Or Stygian. What's a pretty bad one? Honestly, it's really not that bad. Like, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. Like, you can win with Stygian. Honestly, Stygian Awoken was a bad call. That's probably one of the stronger ones. Stygian Hellhorned can be tough. Stygian Umbra doesn't sound great. The two races after Stygian, like, they're strong. They're strong, very strong. Umbra is a little weak to start out with, but some of the early unlocks you get with Umbra are pretty damn good. The difficulty with Umbra is that Umbra starts out with some pretty shitty units. Or at least they're not shitty. Like, with the starting deck of Umbra, and I don't mean the deck that you start out with when you start a run with Umbra, I mean like the starting amount of Umbra cards you have unlocked. Like, it's very streamlined, and like, you have to play Umbra a specific way. Like, the first few times you play Umbra, there's no real variance in how you play Umbra, but after you get a few unlocks, it really opens up. Spell weakness is honestly not that great, because it takes a lot of investment, honestly, before it really starts popping. Like, spells can be strong. Spells can be super strong. But unless you have incredibly good units, to, like, slow the boss down and at least do some damage to it, like, you're not going to spell down a boss most of the time. Obviously, like, the three major bosses, you can constantly apply spell weakness during the fight, but, like, all of the other bosses can be a little bit touchy, especially as your Covenant rises. Incant, though, there's nothing wrong with Incant. Like, the dude who gains armor on Incant is my favorite shit of all time. It's like one of my favorite, if not my favorite Stygian unit. Frostbite, though, like, Frostbite is one of the biggest things Stygian has going for it. Like, I really like Stygian Primary, because the Stygian champion is actually really solid. But Stygian, Primary and fucking... It's literally poison. But they let you... Whatever the not primary one... Allied! There it is. Stygian Alloy, or Allied is, not the best. But, there are some good cards that I'm happy to have. Like, the one that literally just lets you daze an entire floor, and you discard your hand. Like, what the fuck is the downside to that card? Just fucking discard it at the end of your turn. Unless you have, like, a permafrost card, which what fucking runs need a permafrost card, right? It's absurdly strong. But then again, Stygian by itself doesn't really benefit by it that much, because the Stygian units aren't particularly strong. Yeah, it also, like, as if it needed to be stronger, is, like, super good with offering cards. But just all of the other clans seem significantly more well-rounded, whereas Stygian really goes hard on having incredibly good spells. So you're not disappointed to have Stygian, but also, like, I know this is impossible because, like, you're always going to have two clans, but all of the other clans could do perfectly fine if you never picked up the second clan's cards. Like, if you were rolling primary clan only and just ignored every second clan's card and purged them from your deck so that you were only one clan's cards, all of the other clans, perfectly fine. No survivability issues. Hellhorned, just incredibly strong units out the gate. Awoken, incredibly easy to buff up units. Umbra, also incredibly easy to buff up units. And and the melting waxy boys, incredibly easy to buff up units, and also really strong units. Whereas Stygian, you can't really rely on just Stygian, which honestly is probably the way that most classes should be. Like, I think the other clans could probably benefit from being pushed more in that direction, so that you kind of have to rely on the synergies between the two clans. Whereas most of the time, if I'm playing anything with Awoken and I get Animus of Will, I'm just like, okay, I'm fucking set. Like, Animus of Will and start pumping up Razor Sharp. So, who knows? Stygian definitely makes it interesting, that's for sure. But, I've been fucking rambling for way too long here. I'm fucking hungry as hell, and it's 3:15 a.m. I should be heading out. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, man. Glad you stopped by. Was a lot of fun. And same goes to everybody else. Fucking Nicholas, how long have you been here? How long have you been here and not said a goddamn thing? You will get your 5 hours of sleep. My humblest apologies. A couple of minutes, okay. But yeah, everybody who stayed past the raid and anybody who stayed in general, it was fun. You were talking about cards and didn't want to ruin it. Sorry, our nerd shit. Probably not the most fun thing to listen to us ramble on about. But anyways, yeah. I fucking suck at ending streams. But thanks for hanging out, and see you tomorrow for probably more of this fan game thing.